Is my screen visible?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So we are talking about economic decision making. Fine. And let's see how can we define economics, right? So it is about making choices. As I said to you, economics is about making decision, something which will be more economical for you or something which will financially be more good to you. That is what we try to consider in economics. So what's economics? It's about making choices. Like, say for instance, if 1 kg of apple is available at rupees 400 kg in a shop, in another shop, the same apple is at rupees 300 per kg. So we will say in the second shop, the apple is cheap or economical. Am I being able to make you understand? So the same apple, the same quality of apple, if you are getting at rupees 300 per kg, which means you're saving 100 rupees. Obviously, you'll buy from here. So we will say in the second shop, the apple is cheap or economical. Have I been able to make you understand, Gaurav? Gaurav, have you
Yes,
understood?
sir.
So to connect with you, what you said about business, yes, in business also we have to make decision. We find out where we have to pay less, where we have to pay less cost. So that way economics is related to business also. But business is not only about economics. There is other thing as well. Is it clear, Gaurav? Gaurav Gupta, have you understood
Yes, sir.
economics? Fine. Deepak, is it clear? Deepak, आपको मैं समझा पाया कि what is economics? आपको समझ में आया, Deepak? Is he present, Deepak Prasad? Economics is about decision making. As I said, it's about making choices. And if it's about making choices in an organization, or you as a computer software or computer science engineers, you will also have to make various decisions once you start working in an organization, in a software developing unit. You'll have to decide from where to buy the raw material. So economics is about decision making, and that's the reason in the first chapter we emphasize a lot on decision making process, which is a methodical process which comprises of 9 steps. Allow me to share with you these 9 steps. The first step starts with recognizing the problem, identifying the problem. Recognizing the problem is very much important. Like, say for instance, if you are having like say for instance, if you are having a because we are going through a pandemic, and if you're having a cold, cough, and a fever, then the doctor says go for a COVID test. Once the COVID test is done, and once you identify or detected with COVID, immediately your treatment starts. If the result is negative, which means you don't have a COVID, then accordingly the doctor starts giving you a different dose of medicine. So recognizing the problem means 50% of the work done. Honestly speaking, in the 9th step, this first step, if it is done, it takes care of almost half the work, recognizing the problem. Once the problem is being recognized, then comes define a goal, objective, or purpose. You have to define the objective or the purpose why you are doing this thing. Like, say for instance, when it comes to recognizing the problem and how to be connected to the goal or objective, it's like say it's like if you are going through what we call is say for instance, you are have to manufacture software, or you have to develop a software, and the problem is that you have less manpower. So what do you do in case you don't have now? Your goal might be to develop the software in a very short time, which means you have to hire more and more people. But if your goal is to save money and time is not important, in that case, you will not hire more people, because hiring more people will be required, will means that you will have to pay more. So with the same group of people, you'll make them the work which could have been completed in 2 days now will be completed in 4 days. But since as per your goal, you are identifying the solution accordingly. Fine. It's like, say for instance, if your goal is to give a very good quality product to your customer, then you will put all the best quality of inputs into the product. But if your goal is to give, or the objective is to give, create a product which is easily available, very economical to your customer, then you will not give very high panda quality of a product over there. Am I being able to make you understand how the goal objective is connected to the problem solving? Is it clear, Shubho? Bojhate parlam? Shubho,
Yes,
is
sir.
it clear? Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Clear.
We move on to the third step, assembling relevant data. Please focus on the what relevant. Shubho, what does relevant mean? Relevant money ki?
স্যার একই
Anyone?
রকম।
Uh-huh.
স্যার কিছুটা একই রকম।
Now, relevant money prashungik. It's like, say for instance, when you gave your class 12 exam, you were looking forward for studying engineering, fine, and you wanted to study for computer science and engineering, CSE. Now, if you are collecting data for civil engineering, that will be irrelevant for you because you are not going to study civil engineering. Have I been able to make you understand?
So which means it's unnecessary.
Yes, we are finding out necessary data. What is our problem? Our goal is decided, and accordingly that we are identifying data. Like the goal, the problem is after class 12, you have to go for further studies. What is your goal? You want to study computer science and engineering. And according to that, you're finding out in North Bengal, which are the institutions which offers that. SIT does it, Jalpaiguri Polytechnic College does it, and SIM does it. So have I been able to make you understand? Should I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, what are the first three steps? It's recognize the problem, define a goal, objective, or purpose, and assemble relevant data. Then the fourth thing comes is identify feasible alternative. Now, say for instance, you, as we were telling about the previous slide, you wanted to study computer science and engineering, and you got three colleges as an option, Jalpaiguri Polytechnic, and SIM and SIT. Now, the thing is, maybe I'm assuming you stay in Shiliguri and you don't want to go far from Shiliguri. In that case, feasible. What does the word feasible means? Any idea? What does feasible means? Anyone? Who is ASSI? Who is ASSI?
Sort of, sir.
Okay, any idea, Shubhra, what does Shubhra Sundar, what does feasible means?
No, sir.
Okay, feasible means, like, as I said to you, you don't want to study, you stay in Shiliguri and you want to study from Shiliguri itself. In that case, going to Jalpaiguri is not a good option for you. So that is infeasible. Feasible means something which is possible as per your goal. So your goal is you want to study CSE, staying in Shiliguri, staying at home. So the feasible alternative will be SIT and SIM. Am I being able to make you all understand? Identify the feasible alternative. Is it clear, Shubhra?
Yes,
Shundar?
sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Then comes select the criteria to determine the best alternative. Now, between these two, SIM and SIT, you have to select. Now, each one of us have different criteria. So does a business organization. I remember when I asked you what is economics, Gaurav Gupta said it's about related to business. And then I said, yes, economics is related to business, but not businesses. Entire business is economics. It's other thing also. Anyway, paying it to economics, it's like we are trying to say over here, it's like this particular point, which is the fifth step, has become very important, and it matters organization to organization. What are the criteria for the best alternative? Maybe for some of you, the monetary issue is the best criteria. You are finding out between SIT and SIM, which is more economical. For some of you, maybe the faculty staff, which are the teaching staff that SIT has and what does SIM have. For some of you, maybe the practical labs, what is the lab that SIT offers and what are the labs that SIM offers. So selecting the criteria to determine the best alternative depends person to person. Once that is decided, you need to rank them also. We call it a plan B. Like as per your criteria, maybe you have selected SIEM. If not SIM, which will be the next one? SIT. So, the best alternative and the nearest best alternative. I mean, first and second ranking is very important. Fine. And then comes constructor model, for example, designed to visualization. Fine. You know, it's like you construct a model in pen and a paper. Before implementing it, you can use tools. We call it design to visualization. What is design to visualization? It's like a blueprint. Have you heard the word blueprint? Any one of you follow me?
Yes,
Do you
sir.
have to do
Yes, sir.
blueprint designing? তো আমাদের কি কম্পিউটার সফটওয়্যার কোনো ইঞ্জিনিয়ার ল্যাবে ব্লুপ্রিন্ট ডিজাইনিং করতে হয়?
না
No,
স্যার
sir.
এখনো অবধি করতে হয় না।
Okay, what is blueprint? Can any one of you explain?
স্যার কোনো কিছু করার আগে যে রাফ স্কেচটা করা হয় মানে
Absolutely.
প্ল্যানিং।
Exactly. সমস্ত মাপ যোগ করে যেমন একটা বাড়ি তৈরির আগে একটা প্ল্যান করা হয়. So that is like a blueprint, you know. So you create a blueprint and you know, are we going as per reality? You know, when we এখনো পর্যন্ত কাজটা আমরা implement করিনি, we are going to implement it. But before we implement in pen and paper, every work is being done. Is it clear? Shall we move on? Saurav, shall we move on?
Yes, sir.
Saurav, can you hear us? Saurav Sarkar?
Yes, sir.
That's good. Good to see you, Saurav, in the class. Fine. So to move on, we are going now to the 7 steps, right? You know, so what are the 6 steps? As we said, let us quickly just recapitulate. First, we said is you identify the problem. Once the problem is known, and before you give a solution to the problem, find out what are your goals or objectives in dealing with the problem. Third is find out feasible data. Then from that data, select the feasible alternative. And within that feasible alternative, do a ranking. How will you do the ranking? The criteria will depend upon your, what you call, the criteria that you are choosing. And then construct a model for the best alternative. And moving on. Just give me a second. Predict each alternative's outcome. You know, like if we go for this alternative, what will be the outcome? What will be the cost and what are we going to get from there? Obviously, then you will choose the best alternative, implement that and audit the result. When we say audit, we means we are figuring it out. It's like whatever we have thought as per plan, are we going accordingly? Fine. So that's what we try to do over here in audit the result. Fine. You know, so these are basically the 9 steps of economic decision making, which first starts with what you call is identifying the problem, and then it's like identifying the problem. Then it goes like finding out what are your goals or objective, and then choosing the once the goal is done, you identify relevant data. Once the data is done, find out the feasible alternative. From the feasible alternative, you need to select on what criteria you will choose the best one. This is a very, very important thing. And if a leader is about decision making, this is where the leaders have to be a very strong decision making. And then the 6th step is make a plan out of it. The 7th one is decide all the outcomes of the alternative. 8 is choose the best alternative and implement it. And 9th is audit the result. Is it fine? Is it okay? Have I been able to make you understand? Deepak, have you understood? Deepak, is it clear to you? Anybody any doubt? Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we were talking about economic decision. Now, the first point we said is problems, you know, identifying problem. Broadly, in economics, we identify problem in 4 categories. What are these 4 categories? The first category is related to cost-related problem. Cost itself is a very big topic. Topic number 2, 2nd chapter, we'll discuss that in due time. Fine, you know. So a cost is definitely a one issue. Fine. Then after cost comes production. Production is like whatever input you're giving and what is the output coming. Production is not a part of your syllabus, fine. Then comes mechanical problem, fine. In mechanical problem, this is related to machines, and this is also part of your syllabus, where we will be figuring it out. It's like what is how to value a machine, the resale value of machine, if the value of the machine is declining, how do we calculate that? That is the third problem. The fourth problem is, and that takes us to the role of economics as well, raw materials or inventory, or also known as stock. Please understand, I'll write down, I'll use my chat box and write down for you this word. Have you guys heard this word, inventory or stock? Any one of you? Have you heard?
Yes, sir. Stock.
Yes, Deepak, what does stock means? Tell me.
Sir, it's an some parts of some company you are investing on.
Okay, you're right, Deepak. But also for accounts or for economics perspective, we are considering stock or material, raw material or things which you're doing business with. Like, say, for instance, if you are manufacturing cell phones, then the cell phone is your stock. If you're manufacturing pen, then the pen is your stock. If you are...
Yes, sir. So if it's like we don't have that cell phone, then we'll say it's out of stock.
Yes, exactly. Are you getting my point? So that is inventory or stock. That is the inventory related problem. You have very less inventory related problem as a part of your syllabus. So what are your four categories of problems in economics? Number one, I said, is cost, which I'm going to explain you when I start chapter 2 on costing. Fine. The second thing is related to production, which is not a part of your syllabus. Third is machine. This is there in chapter 7. And fourth is what we call is yours stock related, fine. And since all of these are scarce, cost, we cannot keep on spending more, because in that case your cost will increase, your production, your products will become very expensive, and consumer might not be willing to buy it. So cost is definitely rare. Scarce. So is stock. Stock are also rare. You cannot keep on buying more and more stock, So since these are rare, there is always a role that economics plays, that we take the right decision to invest the right thing in the right place. Is it clear? Have I been able to make you understand the decision making? I mean, what is economics, its role and its problem? Is it clear? Is it clear? Have you guys understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. With that notation, what I will do is I will move on to the second chapter, of course, connectivity of the first chapter as well. And when Shubhu makes a group, I'll share these notes with you on economic decision making and the second chapter. The second chapter is about cost, fine. Any idea what does this four-letter word means, cost? I'm sure you've heard the word. I'll use my chat box again.
The cost and the price.
Cost means price. How many of you agree with Shubho? He says cost means price. How many of you agree with?
Sir. I agree, sir. I think spending price, sir. I mean, kharcha kora. Yes,
खर्चा करा. Yes.
Yes, sir.
दीपक, आपको क्या लगता है cost क्या है?
Sir, it can also mean value.
Value, okay. Gaurav Lamba says cost can be value. Anything else?
It's an amount that has to be paid or sent to buy something.
Paid by something. Thank you, Payal. By the way, congratulations, Payal. You were the batch topper, right? Payal, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, I said. Okay. So we were talking about cost. Yes, cost is spending, but cost is not value. Cost is not price. Like, say, for instance, to manufacture. Can you all see my screen? Is my screen visible? Can you see my screen? Say, for instance, to manufacture this bottle, I require 90 rupees. Okay. No problem, Saurabh, you can leave the class. Fine, if there's a network issue. Anyway, so let's assume you are manufacturing this bottle and it costs you 90 rupees. Will you sell it in 90 rupees market? Tell me, is my question clear?
No, sir.
No, why
Can you
not?
repeat, please?
My question is, a bottle to manufacture করতে আমার খরচা হয় 90 টাকা। আমি কি বাজারে এটা 90 টাকায় বিক্রি করব?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Why?
Sir, তাহলে তো লসে চলবে।
হ্যাঁ,
Yes, sir. We didn't have profit then.
yes, we will sell it probably in 100, 110 we'll have profit. The যে দামটাতে আমরা বিক্রি করছি, that is price. 100 rupees is price, is not cost. Price হচ্ছে দাম বা মূল্য, cost হচ্ছে খরচা. Cost and price is not the same thing. দাম বা খরচা এক জিনিস নয়। বোঝাতে পারলাম শুভ? Shubho, have you
Yes, sir.
understood? Cost is a expenditure, is a spending that you make. Is it clear? Is it fine, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We will stop over here today. I really want you guys to make a